Hello, hello. Just gonna close the door. There's an open Wales here, and look what I have. Isn't this awesome? So yeah, it is the Scott FR30 voltage, or voltage FR30, whichever you want. So yeah, look at this. Very nice red grips. Got Avid Elixir 1 brakes. A what is that? Hasselfelt stem, and it's got Pilot riser bars. Those are 680 bars. It's got RockShox R domain. It's got 200mm disc brakes, 180 travel, and it's got a 222mm eye-to-eye length shock. Basically eye-to-eye, if you're sort of new. Oh, sorry about that. If you're new to bikes like me, eye-to-eye means bolt to bolt. So there, the start, the bolts are the other one. So, also you may have noticed this. This bike is locked to the wall. Yeah. That's how insanely obsessed. Well, it's a good idea really, because I mean, I'm not really going to talk about the security of my garage, because I'll probably bore you to death, but anyway. So yeah, you're not able to adjust anything apart from the rebound on both these two shocks. And in my last video I was mentioning putting blue handlebars on there. See this little light blue pattern here? Well, that's why. It's got a SRAM X5 rear derailleur. It's very nice. It has got a E13, I think it's an L. I can't remember which one it is. I think I keep wanting to say L96, but that's just a bit weird. So yeah, the voltage comes with these. Well, mine didn't. It comes with these things, and these. It basically means you can fit a shorter one of these in, so you can fit a 240 eye-to-eye shock in there, or a 260 even, or you can put an extra elongated one if you're going dirt jumping and some smaller forks, smaller travel length forks like 100mm, whatever, and it'll be fine. The geometry will stay the same, or just like a little bit out. So that's why I love the Scott, because, as you probably noticed, it is a slope style frame. I mean, I just like that for the aesthetic reasons. It comes with its own. What is the proper name for it? It's not chain. I think it's just chain guard. Chain guard. That's the chain guide. Chain guard. So yeah, it's got ruction, chain ring and cranks. It's got Well-Go pedals. I want to change these though. These are nice, but they're not the ones I want to have on here. They are very nice. I like them because they're flat. So yeah, I've got very nice SRAM grips on there. I think this is moving way too much at the moment. I want to have it so it's like this, and it instead of all the way back here. And plus, if I really squeeze, I can get it right back to the handlebars. So yeah, what more can I mention? I actually don't know all the specs, so I will read them out to you from the Treads website, which I can assure you is 100% accurate. I've ridden this bike 2 times at the Forest of Dean. I haven't taken it to Cwmcarn yet. I'm sure it will cope brilliantly. I am finding that I am using a lot of this travel up, so the rubber band is going all the way to the top. But hey, just get some different springs there, different coils rather. So yeah, I think that's just a small sort of overview on the bike. I'll give you a bigger view now. Come on. Yep, there it is. Isn't that nice? My old bike and my dad's bike, which I custom built. I'll probably have an in-depth review of that as well. So yeah, that's been an overview of the Scott FR30 voltage, and I'll go over the specs in part 2 of this video. Thank you for watching. Bye. Hello, and welcome to the second part of the Scott FR30 voltage review. So, now for your interests, your exact interests, I will read out, which you don't really have to watch this part if you don't. Well, that's going to be the second part anyway, so enjoy. Okay, the frame is 6061 hydroform tubing. It's slope style. It has IRCG and IRCG05 tabs. It has a 1.5. It's head tube for 1.5 inch. Now remember that, for 1.5 inch. That means it's not 1.5 inch, it's slightly bigger. And it has rear shock is Marzocchi, or I used to call it Marzoconi. I have no idea why. Roco coil R. Doubly piggyback 180 travel anyway. Okay, and the front, it is. Oh, they had a typo on here. There's 2 commas. Never mind. The fork is a RockShox domain R coil with 180 travel. The headset is an FSA Orbit, obviously for 1.5. Alloy cups. Stem is a truvative Husserfeld, and it's got the rear cassette is an 8-speed, front mech is an E13 LS1. I knew it was an LS something, or L something, and as an ISCG05 chain guide, which is that. Rear mech is the SRAM X5 8-speed medium cage. Don't know what small cage or large cage is. Chain set is a Travative Rootcon 1.0, 34 tooth chainring, bottom bracket important, Travative howitzer 73mm shell. Surprised that isn't an 83. Never mind. Cassette, SRAM, PG. Well, you don't really need to know that. Chain is a KMCX8. Now here are the brakes. Avid Elixir 1, and they're 200mm. If you can, please tell me if 203 discs will fit in 200s. I don't know why there are 200 and 203s. No idea. Front hub is a Formula Comp 20mm through axle seal bearings. Rear hub is a Formula DC nutted seal bearings 135mm wide. Tires, they're Schwably Big Betty Freeride Performance, and they're 2.4. So there we go. So, I mean, my overall thoughts on this bike, I mean, obviously I'm going to give a good review, because it's my bike, but, so yeah, overall I think the suspension is so lovely. It's awesome, that's what it is. Apart from on the front, it's a little too springy, spongy. I've used up all of the 180 travel, meaning I've bottomed it out. I don't want to be all like badass or whatever. I find it really annoying when people try to be badass. But anyway, I have used up all the travel, and I wish I could put some stronger springs in, or just stiffer, yes, stiffer springs. So yeah, if any of you can tell me what kind of springs to put in, that'd be amazing, because I'm just stuck here. I mean, I don't really need to change them. Okay, I'll talk about the bike from, riding position. I mean, it's all very well, you know the bottom bracket size and everything. What does it actually feel like? Well, the first thing I noticed is that the seat post is extremely long, which means you can't drop it all the way down to the seat tube. So you're going to need to have a professional either saw part of it off, saw it down, or you do it at home, which I don't recommend. Although it doesn't really, my friend's done that and it's been perfectly fine. So yes, the second thing is, well, coming from my Diamondback to this, the handlebars were extremely wide. I like that though. That's a good thing in my opinion. I mean, if they're really small, you have really limited turning. Well, not limited turning. You have it's harder to turn the handlebars, and you don't have as much control. Also, the brakes, they are brilliant. It's kind of meaningless really, because you have to bleed them properly and all that sort of stuff. But when treads bleed them, they're good.
So yes, third thing is that the ride is so smooth. I mean, obviously because it's set up for me, right? So if you're quite a heavy chap, then you may want to think about getting you have to twist the thing that tightens the spring up, and so it because otherwise you're just going to be using up all the travel all the time. Um, what else? Also, compared to my other bike, the frame is extremely thick. It's very pleasing, and the chain guide works brilliantly. Um, I mean, it was set up brilliantly. I quite like to build it myself, but I'm not going to go ahead and like take it all apart just so I can build it myself. Although that would be quite fun. Um, Now to go off topic, I was just playing a game of Call of Duty. I was saying, okay, I've had enough of the MP7. Let's try and quickscope. I've been trying for a while. I mean, I've watched several videos on the YouTubes on how, and people have been really helpful. You know, sort of aim, get your crosshairs roughly where the person is, and then you're gonna have to correct a heck of a lot. I mean, I find it really hard to correct because I'm like, okay, because I mean, I corrected only in the wrong direction, wrong direction. So yeah, but I had a brilliant game. I mean, I got sort of a streak of 3 quick scopes, and they were all amazing. It was like, bam, you're dead, and like a headshot for the other 2, so that was pretty cool. So yeah, I don't know why I started talking about that, but never mind. Finishing thoughts on the bike. Also, it depends if you get the long or short version of this bike. I got the long version because I'm not like into tricks yet, and even if I was, I just prefer getting airtime, to be honest. I'm not really into tricks. So yeah, and the shorter version if you want to pull like massive whips and stuff. So I guess that's why you buy the short version. But because I'm more sort of like downhill instead of free ride, I pick the long version, which means it's more stable when going fast. It's a tad heavier. Also, that's another thing I noticed. It's quite heavy, but of course, I mean the tires. Oh, geez, they're so wide. That's awesome, though. I mean, oh yeah, another thing that happened when I was at the Forest of Dean. This kid was walking directly up one of the freeride trails, and I had a really good run. I cleared the first tabletop. I'm not kidding, I did, and then I cleared both step downs, heading for the double, which I at the bottom, which I sort of rolled. I rolled over. Not rolled over. I sort of like what's the you sort of just when you flatten a jump. This is what I did. Um, and then there was this kid. He just dropped his helmet in the middle of the track, and it messed up my run. And he didn't even bother to say sorry as well. He was like, douche. And he wasn't even riding a very good bike, and he looked like a complete douche. He was wearing one of those one of those Adidas drawstring bags, and he was pretty much a derp, and he was so annoying. And he's wearing pretty much a skateboard helmet. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, I was wearing a skateboard helmet for one of my jumps, but now I wear my full face because it just feels safer. You know what I mean? So yeah, pretty much yes. Another coincidence. I actually nearly ran into someone on the Furthers Trail when I first went to the Forest of Dean. There was these chavs walking up the trail. Like, okay, we can't be bothered to find a route round. We'll just walk up the trail. So I damn nearly hit him, and then he swore at me. I was like, oh. And then John nearly ran into the back of me, so that was great. Okay, before I overstep the timing, I will say or bid farewell to you all. It's my 3rd video in 2 days. I'm like, you used to get like sort of it's like a streak of making videos, and it just feels good. You know what I mean? Okay, maybe you do. Bye, Ned and Wales signing out.